Welcome, everybody, to Review Please Anime Edition. I am your host, Jesus, and with me, as always, is Ell. Ell, today, we're going to be talking about a lovely horror anime for the month of October, Another. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm excited and stoked to talk about Another because I actually finished this today of this recording, and I enjoyed it a lot, which I'll give more deeper thoughts into it. And I can't wait to talk to you about certain things about this anime that, one, make me laugh, two, that I enjoyed, and also three, I thought they were like, but overall, I enjoyed this anime, but I'm doing well.
Yes, nice. I am looking forward to talking about this anime as well. I quite enjoyed this anime, so let's get into our top level thoughts real quick. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about this anime? What were some highlights for you? And what are some things that, kind of bugged you about this anime, about Another?
Yeah, so I'll say this. So top level thoughts about Another. I think you might have seen this, or I think this is also an anime. I don't know if we've talked about it yet. No, we did talk about it already. This kind of reminded me a little bit of Erased, if you remember Erased. It kind of... it's not necessarily horror as much as this one is, but it gave me the same type of feel for the story, in a sense. Mm-hmm. Overall, I enjoyed the story a lot. For those who, if you haven't watched it, it's kind of like, it's a horror anime, but it's like, you said it perfectly, where it reminds you, it has certain inklings of like a Final Destination-esque when it comes to like some of the characters that get killed. And to me, it like one thing that I really enjoyed, I think that the executions with the characters who died, it was very intricate, very Final Destination-esque that I enjoyed a lot. I was like, what is the chances of this happening? It's ridiculous of it,
Every single death is just like, what? You just have a moment. It's like, is that how that would work? Like, what?
Exactly. It
just escalate too. They get like weirder and weirder and worse as it goes along, and like they get more brutal. And just like, okay, where are we going? Like, it's fascinating to watch.
Exactly. I'll say also, I think that the characters in the anime I enjoyed a lot, especially Kochi and May. They were cool, but it was very interesting. What I liked a lot about this anime is the buildup of trying to figure out what's happening and what's like causing this whole mysterious thing of all these students who end up passing away each year in this one class, which, by the way, I thought it was hilarious that this curse is only to this one specific class. If you're in this class, that's it. Like you might die.
You're fucking dead. And the thing is like, it's not, you don't just have to be in the class. Like if you know somebody that's in the class, like, cause like family members are dying too and stuff they were just like, we just talked to them. Like, because we talked about this before the stream, before we started recording, the nurse from episode, the nurse that was nice, she gets offed in episode 4, I want to say,
episode 4,
where she like straight up was like, I have no idea what's going on, but my brother's in your class and he tells me everything. Ooh. And so that's one of the taboo things. You're not supposed to tell her, you're not supposed to tell people about the curse. But so she gets off. But so like, if you get told about the curse, or if you're connected to somebody that happens to be in the class, then high chances you're gonna die.
That's so crazy. So. It makes me think about what's going on with the rest of the school, and like with all this that happens. And I was always like, I wonder.
I mean, they make it a point to mention like early on in like episode 1 or 2, like, we have to do everything by ourselves. We're not allowed to interact with other classes. Like they have to eat lunch at different times. They have to take like gym class at different times. And at that point, I'm just like, why don't you guys just not have that class?
Exactly. You put it somewhere else. It's so funny. It's funny, some of the things like that. But that's what makes me like love this anime a lot more, just for stuff like that. Of like, I wonder, like, do everybody else living a normal life and they're just living this very extreme, like I could die any moment. But outside of that, I think it's a really good anime. As far as like the story and the characters, and overall I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm trying to think of some of the things that I didn't enjoy. I think really the only thing that I think for me could have been stronger is like towards the end of the anime, it kind of hell just starts to break loose everywhere, where like everybody's dying, which is hilarious to me. But
everyone just starts dropping dead, and then there's that one guy, can't remember his name. The glasses.
Oh yeah,
he was like, he just starts murdering people. He's like, we gotta kill everybody. It's like, okay, dude, calm the fuck down.
What is wrong with
you? He just starts killing people. And it's just like, dude, and it's really funny because he's like, he kills somebody, but then the curse doesn't stop. And like the thing with that too is like, you kill somebody, but then he didn't even take the time to check to see if the curse stopped, because then you'd be like, oh, I gotta kill you next. Dude, it's like, dude, you haven't even stopped to see if like this curse is broken yet. You're just a psychopath. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, people just lose their minds towards the end of it. It basically it builds up and it blows up completely. But I'll say that some of the characters you only really mainly focus on Mei and Koichi, and then also you get a little bit of some sub characters, some like back characters like let's see, I think I have a list pulled up here. You get a little bit into Naoya, Tishigira, can't even say that. Teshigawa.
Naoya.
Yeah. You get
he's the one that gives you like the recording in the last episode. Well, not the last. Is it the last episode? No, because the last episode is like a flashback. Which Well, I'm going to talk about that here in a second too. But like the after they've solved the mystery and everything, he's like, just talk to your friends, which is another point I just want to talk about too. I like the sentiment, but I'm also like, you didn't talk to your friends. The fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. But you have him, and I can't remember for the life of me, the other kid who was like the very like timid, very shy guy. I forgot his name. Was it Yuya? I think it might have been Yuya. But he was at the end. They were together and they were saving each other.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Yuya. I don't know.
Yeah. I can't remember.
But I felt like certain characters, like there was one character who you're kind of like on the fence about, but towards the end, I actually didn't like this character, which she was the head of the committee for the rules of that whole class. What's her name? Izumi. Yeah.
Yeah, Izumi.
Izumi. Like, I wish maybe it would have gotten a little bit more, because she just comes off as very like standoffish. You know, she's like, hey, I have a job to do here where there are rules. We have to follow them. We have to, treat people who are outsiders as an outsider, and so to speak. But overall, I think if I remember correctly, it would have done good to maybe get like an extra episode or something, just to build a little bit more of I guess a little bit deeper dive into the characters, the background characters, so to speak. Yeah. But other than that, man, I really enjoyed this anime. I think it's a really good anime, and I had fun with it more than anything.
Yeah, same. I had a lot of fun with it too. This falls into the trap for me where I'm gonna before I get too deep into what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I think this anime is great. I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. There's something just really endearing about it, like the characters, especially Koichi and Mei. I love their relationship, and just like how Koichi's like, I want to get to know you. Like, what's going on? Are you actually dead? And it's like, no, Mei's not dead. They're just pretending. Because it has to do with the curse of the class and all that. Yeah. I think there's an intriguing mystery happening here. And I really, really love the twist where, so I'm jumping ahead straight to the spoiler here, where it turns that Reiko is the extra, which is Koichi's aunt that he lives with. I really loved that twist. And it's one of those things that if you go back and watch episode 1, it pretty much, it's foreshadowing because you don't know, but like once you go back and watch episode 1, you're like, oh, that makes fucking sense. because like, yeah, when the twist happened, I was like, huh, that's interesting. That's awesome. And then when I did go back and watch episode 1, I went back and watched a couple episodes, and I was like, oh, episode 1, they pretty much tell you that Reiko is dead. The problem is that because of the curse, Kochi doesn't remember that, because the curse makes you forget.
Yeah.
And like that's something they bring up too, is like, oh, they're not going to remember this, and that's part of the reason why the classes keep happening, is because people just forget that this is that they know the class is cursed, and they know that students die, but then like they also forget.
Yes,
it feels like a little plot holey, because like, well, if they forget, whatever, but like that's the core of it. Like there's this curse that started back in like the 70s because of a bird.
Yeah.
Because of crows. I don't remember. They like briefly explained it, and they clearly didn't actually care. Like they just clearly didn't really care about explaining like what this curse really is, because they tried to, but it just didn't feel satisfying at all in any way, shape, or form, because like it just left me more questions like, well, what? But there's a curse on this class, this specific class, and it's basically in a student died, and people pretend that the student's still alive. Mm-hmm. And so like now every year afterwards, students have to select somebody in their class to be the extra, meaning they ignore that person's existence throughout their entire time in high school.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire time of high school until they graduate, they just pretend that that person isn't real, and nobody will die. Nobody told Kochi this though. Nobody.
Nobody.
And part of it, because like he was sick at the beginning, and so like he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then, but see, and this is where I'm like, well, you could have just told him when he was in the hospital.
Exactly.
Izumi, because like Izumi and Naoya and somebody else.
Is it the guy Yukiro, or what's his name? Yujito?
Was it? Yeah, the
guy with the glasses.
The crazy
Yukito. Yeah,
the crazy dude. Yeah. They go to Kochi in the first episode to visit him in the hospital. I was like, well, you guys could have told him then. And see, this is where things just go wrong, and pretty much everything is where you just talk to him, just tell him like, hey, these are the rules. You could have told him in the hospital. I don't know. They never really explained why they couldn't tell him in the hospital. Maybe they have to tell him like at school or something. But like they don't mention it anyways.
Yeah.
And the other thing, the reason they don't tell him at school is because Izumi happens to miss school that day. Yeah. And it's like, this is so fucking, it's so like the rules, I didn't really understand the rules of the curse. And I think that's one of the big drawbacks for me, where I was like, I just don't understand what the rules for this curse are. Cause like, you can't tell him, you have to tell him. And if he starts talking to May, then all this other stuff happens. Granted, without knowing who May is, he wouldn't have been able to know not to talk to her and stuff. Because like May and him actually meet at the hospital because May's sister is dying. Yeah. Because May's sister has cancer, right?
Yeah, she's had some sort of disease. That she passed away from.
Yeah. I don't see. Theory. Twin sister, the best friends. They found each other. They were attracted to each other, even though you. It doesn't say like what she died of, at least on the wiki.
Okay.
So, yeah. I for some reason thought it was cancer, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah. So May, like in the first episode, when Kochi meets her, they meet in an elevator. And like at first you're like, oh, is this chick a ghost? What's going on? She has like an eye patch and all this other stuff. And then like, yeah, they meet and she's going to visit her sister. It's not clear. You don't learn that she was going to her sister until later on in the show. And yeah, so I can't remember where I was going with this. What was I talking about?
I don't remember. Oh, you're talking about basically what the rules of the curse is.
Oh yeah, the rules of the curse. Because like May because like he met May in the hospital, so he probably would have happened anyways. But yeah, like there's just some of the rules just don't make sense, and then like they keep like trying to add rules to it too. Like like about a little over halfway through the show, they go like, we're going to go on vacation. The curse can't reach us here because we're not in town anymore. And then lo and behold, oh no, the curse comes. It like follows them around. So like, they don't even know what the rules are. And so that's when like things start really hitting the fan where they're like, oh, it's following us everywhere. We have to stop this and find the source and blah, blah, blah. And let's murder each other. And yeah, I will say though, like overall, loved the anime. Yeah, all that to say, I love the anime. Thought it was great. So yeah. So how did you feel about the twist that Reiko, the aunt of Kochi, was the extra? Did you feel that coming at all? Because it was something that I picked up on. I was like, man, this is like always one-on-one conversations that she has with Kochi. She's not really interacting with other characters. Maybe she's the extra, when like the idea of like, oh, they have to discover who the extra is, like first got implanted in my brain. I was like, oh, okay. Like, and so like I started putting the pieces together, and then when I went back and watched episode 1, I was like, oh yeah, they tell you right off the bat.
I had a feeling that she was one of the suspects, because I assumed that maybe it was one of the classmates, just for like how suspicious they would act. And I think the anime did a great job of like, making you think that it could have been anyone in that class. The one thing that kind of always brought me back to thinking that Reiko was the one was that bird. That bird was always saying, why, Ray? Why? Like, if you remember, it would just like kind of like foreshadow to like, just like it would always say her name. And I'm like, why is this bird saying that? And then she would always be like, oh, I hate this bird. Like, I don't like this bird a lot. It was interesting. I'll say, to me, what was the biggest twist that I don't know why I just didn't see it, was that Reiko is Mikami. And like the homeroom teacher, I did not see that at all. And when that was revealed, I was like, excuse me? And that was like a good twist. But I was like, holy crap, that's like crazy. And overall, I think they did a really good job of like, a little bit of it was a little predictable just because they were kind of dropping breadcrumbs for you. But I think overall they did a really good job of bringing that twist in when it's finally revealed that Reiko is the one who's the extra. And I think this anime did a great job of that, because it does it the best, especially where they put that reveal at the end when all hell is breaking loose and there's like an explosion in this cabin in the woods, and like the owners are going crazy, they're killing people, and like people are just dying left and right. I'll say this before we go too deep. What made me laugh the most was like, people would try to escape, and next thing you know, like the ceiling chandelier would crash on them. And then there was a moment where like somebody from that the chandelier hit like 3 students, and this guy, he gets up and he's running away, and then some pillar just comes down and lands on him, and you're just like, what is happening here? The chaos, like, just it becomes so weird. So something I will say that I really disliked, and it's not quite the melodramatic nature of the last episode of Erased for me. But the last episode of the show of Another, when they go back in time for May and everything, I did not like it. I was like, I don't really need this. Like, why is this last episode like even here? Like, why? What? I don't know. Like that very last episode, it was just wasn't doing it for you.
Yeah, it was a part of the last episode. I can't remember. There was maybe I'm thinking of something different actually. Never mind. It's not important. Anyways, there was just like it reached a point where it just like, there's just a melodramatic nature to it that I'm like, oh, man, come on. Why are we doing this? Why what's going on here? But overall, anime's great. So I'm trying to think of one other thing that really.
I know one thing that you did not like.
The eye patch, fucking eye patch.
The dolls. The dolls.
The fucking. Oh my god.
It did really randomly cut like in the anime, and I think more so in the beginning half of the anime, like you'll just be like there's like Couchy like talking to someone, and then like it'll transition and it cuts to dolls.
It just dolls, yeah. And I guess the dolls are supposed to signify like the extras, the other characters that were ignored and or died or whatever. But I'm just like, oh, fucking what? Stop. Just stop. Like at first it was like for shock value, I'm assuming, like meant to be creepy. Yeah. But after like the first episode, I was like, okay, can we just stop? Like, I don't because like I wasn't understanding the point at the time. And I was just like, this is stupid. And like he goes to that doll shop and everything and that's where he meets May, like where he has a significant conversation with May. Yeah. And just like, he sees a doll that looks almost exactly like May too. That makes him like briefly believe that she's actually dead. Yeah. And it's just like, man, the doll, I thought the dolls were stupid. I guess they try it again. I think it was meant to be like more so to like shock value, scare you, make you unnerved. And that's the other thing that we haven't talked about. I do think the sound design for the anime is fantastic. It does a really good job of like building that tension, like just with its with the music that it uses and the sounds that it's using. It builds that tension really well to make you feel uncomfortable at times where you're like, oof, especially in the early episodes when you're not really sure what the hell's going on. Yeah. Kind of goes away towards the end when shit's hitting the fan, but it's still like, especially in the early episodes, the music and the sound design just really kept you on the edge, you know? Yeah. So.
What's interesting, they do a great job that I think a lot of horror movies do, where there's almost like, as you could say, like a hit, like a sting, but it's not like your average. It's just like a random sound, whatever, and it just like it's like very creepy, and that happens with like certain shocking moments, like whether it be I remember in one of the episodes, I don't know if it was in this one, but the kid, when he had kind of like that heart failure and he was trying to like, I'll tell you whatever, I'm tired of these roles, and he was going to answer Couchy's questions, but then he had a heart attack and he died. Or even when like people kind of reveal things, they have like good like horror stings where Izumi, the girls, this is towards the end where they all figure out, they listen to that tape and they realize like, oh, in order to get rid of this curse, we have to get rid of the extra. And she's like, who could the extra be? And she has that realization where she thinks it's like, oh, it's May. And it's like the zoom into her eyes with that sound effect. It made me laugh a little bit because it was so random. But I was like, what just happened? But this anime does definitely a great job of the sound design with like adding in the horror. Even when people are the small details, whenever like in the beginning with the nurse Mizuno, when she dies in the elevator, just the sound of the elevator coming down crashing when she hits the floor.
Dude, let's talk about how unsafe that elevator is.
Man,
there's only one cord holding it, you know?
Literally only one cord holding this very old elevator, and they all knew it was old.
In a hospital too. Like, what the hell?
Exactly. Or
people use that elevator.
Exactly. Often. My whole thing was like, are they going to get sued for this? Because they should have fixed this a long time ago.
The nurse's parents are going to come in and just be like, listen, our daughter died because you guys are, well, their son also died, right? Yeah. Because her brother dies too.
Yeah, her brother died,
so like, we lost our kids to this fucking curse in this stupid town. We're suing the fuck out of this town. Like, listen, we're making money off of this shit right here. You know?
Exactly that, or like... I was going to say what's crazy is also just the small detail. And I think this, correct me if I'm wrong, that whenever the first student, not the first student, but one of the first significant like deaths that you see is that girl with the umbrella. And like
I'm gonna talk about how dramatic that fucking, because they do a slow motion thing of it where you just like you see the thing flipping, it opens and you see the shock on her face and then you see the eye and then you see her body spasm. It's like it was like, the hell is this elaborate fucking death that happened in episode 2?
Yeah, episode 2. That's right. And it catches you off guard, but it kind of sets the tone for how this is gonna go. But and it's crazy because this wouldn't have happened if she just walked normally, because she ran because she saw Couchy and like she's like and then ran, and then she slips. Of course, the umbrella does like a little vertical flip once or twice, and it just lands perfectly.
To pierce her eye. Or no, it didn't pierce her eye. It went through her neck, right?
Yeah, it went through her neck. Yeah, and like It's so crazy, but just the small little details in the sound design of like the umbrella hitting the floor, dinging, and then all of a sudden just piercing through. And so it's crazy.
Yeah. So the thing that I was saying that I didn't like was the OVA of the anime.
Okay.
And it deals with May visiting her sister and stuff in the hospital and crap. And she's dying from leukemia. So I was right. Her sister is dying from leukemia. So cancer. Well, a version of cancer. Was leukemia cancer? Yeah, it's a group of blood cancers. So Anyways. So anyways. Didn't really need that. Granted, I guess it's an OVA, so you don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
Because, I remember watching that and just being like, this doesn't really do anything. What was the point of this? I, for some reason, thought it was part of the season, but no, it wasn't part of the season. So, my bad, y'all. My bad. What was that? There was one other thing I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. The eye patch thing was stupid. I still don't understand why there's an eye patch. I don't like it.
Yeah,
done.
She didn't really need it.
I think I understand she has a doll's eye or whatever, and maybe she didn't want to see people's close to dying or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. But maybe that's why.
Maybe, but there's still if you're gonna have an eye patch, at least put one that's something cooler than just a white gauze over your eye.
I'll say this. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this is one thing, because a lot of this stuff could have been prevented as far as people dying, but
all they had to do was talk to Kochi at the beginning and then nothing would have happened. Everybody wouldn't have been fucking fine. This is where I'm saying Naoya in his recording was just talk to your friends. It's motherfucker, you didn't talk to fucking Kochi. Nobody told Kochi not to do the things that he was doing.
Yeah.
And they kept for a while they kept blaming him too. They were like, dude, you did this. And it's you motherfuckers didn't tell him not to do this.
Yeah. I said there were moments when stuff like that, as that's revealed later on, that everybody they knew the rules, but of course he didn't. And there were moments too where May's they haven't told you anything. They didn't tell you the rules.
He's nobody's told me anything. He's just this is why this is happening, because nobody told them anything.
And then there were moments too, because of all that build up towards the end to when everything just starts to go crazy. I kind of was you know what, y'all deserve to die. You all didn't tell the rules. You didn't do anything or whatever. But it was interesting because there was also moments too, if you remember, where Kochi was talking to May, and I think he asked May, he's how long did you know that the extra was Reiko? She was oh, I knew long ago. And he's why didn't you tell me? And then all she says is it wouldn't have mattered. I'd excuse me? Yeah. You mean it wouldn't have mattered? But also,
logic.
Yeah, exactly. They're high school students. They're
stupid. They're stupid. But the thing is even the teachers were affected by the
True.
Because we had the teacher that committed suicide in front of them. We had that creepy library dude.
Oh yeah.
Who turned out to be, I guess, a good guy, because he was you guys shouldn't be killing each other.
Well,
he's the only reasonable person who was you guys need to stop killing each other. He's the only one who said it. He was the only one who really was y'all should. I guess. A couple other characters also said it, but he was the only one of significant ranking that was just y'all should stop killing each other.
What made me laugh, because towards the end of the anime, when everything's going to hell, before it starts to go, a student who has asthma basically runs out of their medication, of their inhaler, and he's I'm going to take them downhill, and then he leaves for a while, then he eventually comes back, and it's funny because when he stops Izumi from killing May, she's like, what are you going to do, you coward? You ran away. And he just goes, yeah, hey, what can I do? I ran away. He was scared of the curse. And I was like, hey, it is what it is. But it made me laugh right there.
Yeah. It's just... some of the stuff is it's just so wild. Also, this anime has something that I always dislike.
What's that?
People just wanted to. There's a couple characters, that just had a crush on Kuchi for some reason. Kochi.
Oh yeah.
May had a crush. At times it felt like Izumi also had a crush or something.
Yeah.
Just some of these characters, all these girl characters, just seem to have a crush on them. And it's why does this happen? Why? I'm probably just misreading, but there was just times of stuff where it's just huh, cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why is it always the main male character? Also, there was at least early on in the show, a lot of the female characters were the first ones to die.
They were a lot.
It's okay, well let's kill off some of these guys, please.
I think the first guy was that kid who had the heart attack, who got tired of the roles. He was the first one.
And then one after that was the teacher who committed suicide.
That's right. That's right. He lost it. Yeah.
He lost it.
So crazy.
Listen, those kids are traumatized. But like, I mean, like, yes, they all forget, I guess, but whatever. It's like they're gonna wake up one night and they're from the sleep. They're gonna be like, oh my god,
yeah,
I had a dream. Teacher killed himself in front of us. Shit.
That's so crazy. But,
so when they forget, do they forget that the people existed at all?
Yeah,
because like. So like everybody that died, they just magically forget who they are.
Oh, no. I think the only person, if I remember correctly, the only person they forget
is the extra, yeah.
And so, but I think
so they're gonna have to. They are gonna have trauma for the rest of their lives because they're gonna be like, God damn, my best friend was murdered in front of me,
Or like the what's it, Yukito guy who he was just killing people and he doesn't die. They or did he die at the end? I can't remember.
They left the impression that he was dead because Naoya was just like because Naoya, right?
That's right. Yeah, Naoya was his best friend.
Just like kind of like walked away from him or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay, I was gonna say because if he was alive, he's gonna have to live with the fact that he killed all these people and they were all the wrong one.
Yeah. Did you say the building at the beginning? Oh no, he's seen at a hospital with other folks from when the building collapsed and stuff.
So then he's probably gonna go either to jail or to an insane asylum for everything he did.
Because it's really funny too. It's really funny too because he was like, yeah, I'm the smart one.
I know, and then look at him.
And then he just loses his fucking mind. And the person that he was making fun of, the jock, which was Naoya,
ends up living.
He turns out to be a reasonable person.
Yeah, exactly.
He's one of the few characters that was like, y'all need to stop killing each other again. There's only a few characters that were like, y'all need to stop doing this. Naoya was one of them. Which was like,
exactly.
Can we stop? Can we just stop?
Yeah. And then. What was I about to say? I was going to say that, was it something to do with, I'll say one student that I was actually happy they got X'd off was the one girl who lost her mind and she had like that face. She's like, I'm going to kill you, May. And she had like the little scissor. If you remember, she was like the first one when stuff started to go to hell there.
Oh, yeah.
And she started losing it. And then she got, the wires got her and just choked her.
Yeah.
Or whatever. She was like really gone. I was like, oh no, she's way worse. She needs to go. She needs to get out of here.
she's a psychopath.
Yeah.
I think it was, I'm trying to remember who it was. I can't remember.
She even got on the PA system and she was like, I know who the extra is. It's May. And she goes, so you know what that means we have to do, right? Kill her. Like the way she said it, the voice actor did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember which character that was, but yeah. All these, nothing spells psychopaths like high school kids, I guess.
I know, right?
But anyways, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share, Elle, or?
I'll say that final thoughts, I think that if you're into horror anime or you're looking for something with a great suspenseful thriller story, I think that Another is great. It's a short anime, only 12 episodes. Each episode is only like 25 minutes. You could literally get through it in a day or two, depending how you watch. And I think I think the plot is well done for the most part. Of course, with its occasional plot holes here and there. Overall, I think it's a good anime to watch, especially for spooky season.
Yeah, for spooky season. Yeah, it's a really fun anime. When I was pitching it to you, I described it as a final destination meets weird Japanese horror stuff. Yeah. And that's what it was for the most part. Mm-hmm. I guess I described it as final destination meets weird Japanese supernatural stuff. And that's what it was. So, but yeah, the anime is great. There is a live action version. If anybody ever wants to go watch it, there's a live action version of it. I have not watched it yet, but cool. I feel like this is one of the few, like, I'm not the biggest fan of live action anime things. Yeah. I feel like this could work though. I feel like this could work. I'd obviously have to go watch it to decide, but like, yeah, I feel like this could work. So yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Now, because we have to rank everything, I'll rank first this time. So my current list of anime, because it's been a while. My number one anime right now is Trigun Stampede season 1. At number 2 is Megalobox. Number 3, Bocchi the Rock. Number 4, Okay. Number 4, Erased. Number 5, Your Lie in April. Number 6, Spy Family Season 1. Number 7, Mashal, Magic and Muscles. 8, Kekagori. And 9, One Punch Man. For me, so I'm going to put it like, I'm going to skip all the way up to 6, Spy Family. Do I like it more than Spy Family? Yes. Do I like it more than Your Lie in April? Yes. Do I like it more than Erased? I do like it more than Erased. Do I like it more than Bocchi the Rock?
Ooh.
No, I don't. So Another is landing at number 4 for me.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty high up on my list. I enjoyed it a lot. It's above Erased. I liked it just a little bit more than Erased.
Yeah. See that.
But doesn't quite hit the like love that I have for Bocchi the Rock, which it's kind of hard for that because like I just absolutely love Bocchi the Rock. So
yeah.
Ell, for you, your list goes like this. At number 1 is One Punch Man Season 1. Number 2, Megalobox. Number 3, Trigun Stampede Season 1. Number 4, Mashal, Magic and Muscle. Number 5, Kekagori. Number 6, Spy Family Season 1. Number 7, Erased. Number 8, Bocchi the Rock. And number 9, Your Lie in April. Where are you going to put this?
Oh, decisions. Remind me, what was number 5?
Number 5 was Kekagori for you.
Kekagori. Oh, man. So I know, let's see, if I'm going backwards, I know I liked this more than Your Lie in April. I know that I enjoyed this more. Let me skip up a little bit. I think I enjoyed this more than Spy X Family. This is where it starts to get a little bit of, did I enjoy it more than Kakagori? Because Kakagori is also, it's not horror, but it's like a psychological thriller.
It's psychological, yeah.
Yeah. And they're both great. You know what? Oof. I'm going to put this at number, wait, what was number 5? You said Kakagori?
Yeah, number 5 is Kekagori, yeah.
So I'm actually going to put this at number 6 for me. Just above Spy X Family. So that means I think Your Lie is getting pushed down further.
Yeah.
Because when I think of Kakagori, man, I loved the characters. I loved the gambling and how crazy it is. But also this anime for Another is so great as well. The story's great. I do think it is a better story than Erased, like you stated. And I think that the way that the twist happens, because Erased has its own twist as well that you figured out in the, I think towards the end, middle. But I think this twist is done better than Erased is. Yeah,
I agree. So let me add up everything real quick. So I need to do maths.
While you're doing that, everybody, if you watch this anime, that last anime, even if you're not really into it, the last episode of this anime is definitely worth the whole season, like the whole thing, because of how crazy and chaotic. It's funny because I was looking at comments on Crunchyroll when I was watching this, and people kept saying, "How many explosions does this hotel have?" Like, right? Literally, like it'd be like 20 explosions, and you're like, I don't think this place has that many like places for like gas or anything like that for it to just to go off or something. Because of just how ridiculous stuff was. And there was like a cool moment that was crazy where the kids, they don't realize that the dining hall's on fire, and then somebody opens it and it lets off this big boom. It's crazy. Yeah. It's ridiculous. You're just like, holy crap.
Yeah, some of the stuff is just wild, like with how it happens, because you're just like, what the hell's going on with this, man? Exactly. 6, 2, 9, okay, that's right. Mashal. 3 and 7. Okay.
Also, I'll mention this. There was also other 2 deaths that happened where one, the student who was trying to leave town with her family, and they just ended up going off the cliff. Yeah. And then there was the one right after. Yeah. And then the one after that, the tractor that's on the trailer just goes backwards and it kills the brother of one of the students. Mm-hmm. You're just like, what the heck?
Alrighty then. I think I have the scores. Let me make sure. We still have a tie for the number 1 spots.
Whoa.
Thank God One Punch Man is falling down the list. Okay, that's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, yeah, I got 10 there. You can go bye-bye. You can go bye-bye. Sorry, I'm just so much math here that it's just making me...
all good.
Yeah. All right, so... If my math is correct, and my math is impervious, my math is perfect every time. Oh man, erase actually dropped down. Erase dropped down on the list. Mashal still there. Spy Family dropped down. Okay, sweet. So we have 3 ties. We have 3 ties. And then Your Lie in April is just dying away. So
funny.
So at number 1, we have a tie between Trigun Stampede Season 1 and Megalobox. At number 2, our number 2, taking over the number 2 spot is Another with 12 points. So Trigun Stampede and Megalobox have 18 points. Another has 12 points.
Wow.
One Punch Man Season 1 is at number 3 with 11 points. At number 4, we have a tie, Bocchi the Rock and Mashal with 10 points each. Number 5 is Erased with 9 points. 6 is a tie with Spy Family and Kekagori with 8 points. And then at 7, Your Lie in April with 6 points.
Wow.
So, yeah, we are now in this wild west world of ties and stuff and knocking down. Going forward, for future episodes, now that we have a top 10 anime list for our individual list, if we don't think a game is going to make our top 10, we're not even going to rank it. So it'll be at the discretion of Ell or myself if we don't think it's going to be in our top 10. So things will start really shaking out and we'll start getting interesting then, because at that point, then significant points will be lost, when things start getting knocked out and everything. So I'm sure the overall ranking list will change considerably as we go forward, because we still have 2 animes to rank, to discuss and rank this year. Our next animes that we're going to discuss are Ranking of Kings Season 1 and for November, and then for December, we're going to do Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 1. We unfortunately did not get to Great Pretender, which is my fault. Sorry, I just hit my mic, which is my fault. I could remember really much about it, and I couldn't find a way for me to watch it with English subtitles here in the US without having to pay a subscription service to Netflix and then using a VPN and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. So, and I didn't want to pay for Netflix. So I did not get a chance to rewatch and try to remember things, and just reading a wiki page was not jogging my memory of the show at all. So
gotcha.
So yeah, Great Pretender. Maybe we'll get to it next year. I remember enjoying the 2-3 episodes that I can remember. So I do remember enjoying it. I just don't remember anything really much about it. So yeah. But yeah, so we will be doing Ranking of Kings for November, and then Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans for December.
Nice.
Ell, is there anything else? Am I missing anything?
No, I think that's it.
All right, then wind us down, you son of a gun.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Review Please Anime Edition, where in this episode we reviewed Another. We both definitely highly recommend it. Go watch it. It's pretty good for spooky season. You can always watch this video version of this podcast on Respawn Please Podcast YouTube. So just subscribe, hit the bell icon, make sure to share the video. You can also listen to Review Please Anime Edition on the go, available everywhere you get podcasts. Just type in Review Please Anime Edition. It'll pop up there with previous episodes that we reviewed of animes. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at Respawn Please Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, just for short clips, things like that of the podcast, just video game stuff, whatever. And other than that, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you guys have a great Halloweeny if you celebrate.
I hope you all Have fun on Halloween. If you see a girl with an eye patch, ignore her. Don't let the curse take you. Don't go crazy and start murdering your classmates who are only 15 years old. Don't fall into the curse of another. Goodbye.
Bye.
Whoa.